So, since my review on An American Tail went surprisingly well, I have decided to talk about another Don Bluth movie that probably nobody remembers. All Dogs Go to Heaven. You know that thing about movies like The Iron Giant, John Carpenter's The Thing, or even The Secret of NIMH? They got the popularity they deserve after their theatrical release. In the case of All Dogs Go to Heaven, the thing about that movie is that it came out on November 17th, 1989, which was the same day as Disney's The Little Mermaid came out. And as you can imagine, it went as well as... And this is not just at the box office either. Critics were hard on this movie by straight up comparing this thing to the Disney movie, which I honestly don't understand. I mean, it's about dogs and heaven and not under the sea. I just don't get it. However, once the movie got released on home media, the reputation of the film would change immediately. Not as much as The Iron Giant, but still, Charlie got more attention afterwards, and All Dogs Go to Heaven became a franchise with its own TV show, its own version of A Christmas Carol, and even a sequel released in 1996. Anyway, let's get into the plot. It opens with Charlie and his friend Itchy as they break out of prison and head back to their casino, where we also get to meet the movie's villain, Carface. Yes, that's his name, Carface. They took the name Scarface and they removed the S. Brilliant! Give that man $1 million! Apparently Carface put Charlie into prison so that he could have this entire place for himself and not share it with Charlie anymore. Even if he doesn't treat the other dogs very well. After Carface manages to kill Charlie and send him to heaven, Charlie manages to come back to Earth and makes a plan to get back at Carface. Shortly later, he and Itchy find this little girl named Anne-Marie that Carface likes to keep for his capital. Charlie decides to rescue her so that he could use her for his own business, while he also promises her to find her a new home. And this is where the main problem of the story lies. After we got to meet Anne-Marie, it somehow became a different movie, and I seem to compare it to Despicable Me. Yeah, when you go down to it, you might find some similarities between those two films. Don't get me wrong, the story with Anne-Marie is good and is important for Charlie to become who he is at the very end of the film before he goes to heaven. It's just too bad that the film doesn't manage to make these two plots feel like it's one whole story. Nonetheless, the story is still good and holds up. As for the characters, I can totally agree that Charlie is the strongest one of them all. That's mainly because for the first half of the film, Charlie is a complete dick. He's criminal, has no compassion for others, and is completely motivated by greed, which is why he actually feels so earned when he starts to develop sympathy for Anne-Marie and gradually becomes a better person because of it. Going back to the villain Carface, I like to call him the dog version of Scar from The Lion King, but others seem to call him like the darker and murderous version of Charlie, which I totally understand. And I especially love the voice that Vic Tayback gave him.
Friends must be handled in a friendly and business-like way. Gamblers are never happy, Charlie, you know that. 50% of this is yours, right? Charlie, take it.
Take Charlie out back with a big surprise.
I'm surrounded by morons!
Now that's something to be proud of, even if the man passed away just a few months after the movie's release. Anne-Marie is also a well-written character. Yes, she's the typical sweet little girl, but once she is with Charlie, that's when her character becomes likable, especially when she gets angry with Charlie and finds out that he used her. And then there's Itchy, who may seem like your standard annoying coward sidekick, but as the film goes on, he still develops his heart-to-heart for Charlie. Next we have the animation, easily the best part in the entire film. I think the one major thing that makes this animation stand out is how realistic the humans and everything around them looks, and not just the way they move. As for the dogs, they feature something that I already mentioned in my Oliver and Company review. First they'll be walking on 4 legs, and then they go anthropomorphic where their front paws become hands. There's little else to say because it is that great, that beautiful, that well done, well crafted by Don Bluth and his team. And finally, the songs. You heard me, there are some musical numbers in here.
Oh, you can't keep a good dog down.
No, sir.
No, you can't keep a good dog down.
Broken dreams and out of reach stars.
But it isn't over. What's mine is yours. What's yours is mine.
Let's make music together. Let's make sweet harmony.
Okay, these aren't bad songs to listen to, but the thing is, they are not necessary. You can literally just replace them with characters either saying something or doing something, and it wouldn't make a damn difference other than the length. Overall, All Dogs Go to Heaven deserves more attention than it already has. Sure, it has songs that aren't anything spectacular and some of the writing isn't that great, but the story still holds up with a cast of enjoyable characters and some of the best animation in a Don Bluth film. Literally. As for my ratings, I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10. See you later, dudes!